Welcome to a new episode of GameChunks. In this episode, we go all cute and cuddly with Kinectimals, enter the world of cars with Cars Toon, Mater's Tall Toon, and we become a thief with the HD remake of the Sly Raccoon games, the Sly Trilogy. But we start this episode with some old familiar faces in the adventure game Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Get down.
Donkey Kong is one of the oldest and most recognized game figures created by Nintendo. The big ape even featured in games well before Mario climbed onto the stage. But although he was infamously throwing barrels at Jumpmen back in the days, he became an instant star when his own game series hit the Super Nintendo platform. The Donkey Kong Country game series proved to be a big success, with its fun factor and great adventure elements. It would only be a matter of time when the ape would return to us, and with Donkey Kong Country Returns, the big ape hits the Wii. The motives of Donkey Kong are true basic instinct. When somebody steals his bananas, he goes nuts. Along with the help of his sidekick and nephew Diddy and the rhino Rambi, he sets out to find his stolen pile of bananas. Donkey Kong Country Returns is a true platformer and a feast of recognition for all who played the classic back in the day. But this doesn't mean the game is only meant for those. On your way, you encounter all kinds of enemies and situations that you need to triumph. The game features 8 worlds that all contain from 6 up to 8 levels for you to explore. At the end of each world, you have to battle your regular end boss before you can proceed. During the game, you'll be able to collect the letters K, O, N, and G, which will unlock bonus worlds. And if you collect 100 bananas, you'll get an extra life. And that's not an unnecessary luxury, because the game proves to be a real challenge. When finished, you'll be able to continue with both the challenge mode and the multiplayer mode. In challenge mode, you have to finish levels in a record time, while the multiplayer mode gives you the option to play the game with a friend or family member. One player will control Donkey, while the other helps him out by playing Diddy. Donkey Kong Country Returns is available exclusively for the Nintendo Wii.
The crew used to come
Still to come, an up-close and cuddly look at Kinectimals.
around with the cubs.
The adventures of Master Thief Sly Cooper and friends have been delighting gamers since 2002 and have been exclusive to the PlayStation. Now, 8 years later, the complete trilogy receives a HD graphics update, and all 3 games have been bundled onto a single disc called the Sly Trilogy.
Stop this, Sal. Release Gene King and this fight can end.
The Sly Trilogy features all 3 games, including the beloved second entry, Band of Thieves. The trilogy tells the story of Sly Cooper, the youngest of a Master Thief family of raccoons. He and his Cooper gang members set out to take on heist after heist. This all takes place in a cartoony setting, which creates some hilarious moments with scenes of funny dialogue.
I've rigged this place to push us to our limits.
Although the Sly Cooper games are described as a typical adventure, they do feature a completely different style of gameplay. Instead of jumping from platform to platform, the whole idea is to sneak around and remain undetected.
That blimp looks like the most secured location on this boat.
This means you'll be constantly looking for alternative routes and hiding from guards. The gameplay is a mix of race levels, with segments where you have to shoot a cannon at waves of enemies. Naturally, the whole trilogy got a graphics overhaul, and yet there are still signs that it's a little dated. The first game in the trilogy feels very primitive and has a lack of basic features. There's no health bar, for example, something that gamers around the world have been accustomed to over the last 10 years. Another thing is the linear pad the first game follows. The levels don't really leave a lot of room for maneuver and doesn't have that open world feel at all. Luckily enough, all this is fixed in the later games Band of Thieves and the third adventure Honor Among Thieves. These releases really defined the franchise with solid gameplay, smart humour, and in the case of Honor Among Thieves, even a versus mode feature where you can tackle each other in split-screen mode. The game package states that the trilogy supports Move, but this is not entirely true. Move can only be used to play 4 mini-games that are only unlocked once you finish all 3 adventures. But the trilogy itself does support 3D mode, as long as your television supports this mode.
This place is flooding!
The Sly trilogy looks beautiful, and they really did a good job transferring the game into the high-definition period. The trilogy really gives the whole franchise a second chance, and makes the game available for everyone who didn't play the game the first time around. And this brings us directly to the one downside, because if you haven't played it, there really isn't anything new on the new game disc. Except for the trailer, which finally confirms there is a new installment in the making. The Sly Trilogy is available exclusively on the PlayStation 3. After the success of the animated movies Cars, it didn't take too long before various spin-off cartoons were made. The Nintendo Wii game Cars Toon, Mater's Tall Tales is a video game based on the similarly named animation shorts. The games star Mater and Lightning McQueen, the 2 main heroes from both the film and the series. With these characters, you set out on a number of levels, which can be played both in a story mode as well as individual.
Fire in progress at 1209er Carmichael Way.
That's the old gasoline and match factory.
Right you are, Mater. Now go!
Cars Toon, Mater's Tall Tales contains over 30 levels that are all based on one of the particular animated shorts. In one instance, you drive around as Rescue Squad Mater, while later on, you play as Mater the Greater. The goal of the game is to finish each level and puzzle.
All sorts of stuff was getting destroyed by that fire. Firefighters was going in and carrying out as much as they could. They had to move fast and be careful not to...
Based on your results, you earn coins and trophies, which you then store in your garage. When you have enough coins, you can buy your own car and customize it. Although the gameplay and the easy-to-understand instructions are meant for younger gamers, you'll be surprised by the fact that it welcomes adults too. The game can be played with up to 4 players. This includes both a cooperative mode in which you can help each other and a competitive mode in which you'll need to find out who is the best. Cars Toon, Mater's Tall Tales is a great family game and is only available on the Nintendo Wii. Kinectimals is not the first game that comes to mind when you think about Kinect for the Xbox 360, but it's sure the most cuddly one.
Every day I'm away from you, shakes me up inside. I wanna be near you, know that you are here, lying just next to me. How happy we'd both be. I say it all the time, you don't pay no mind when I tell you that I love you. Now do you? I wanna be clear, all I wanna hear is your voice, have your face to see.
In Kinectimals, you play a prospector in search for lost treasure on the island of Lemuria. The game is played in first-person perspective, which means you play it through the eyes of the main character. But to unlock parts of the island, you don't need to explore the world, but rather play with a cute and cuddly animal that you select during the start of the game. As the title hints, Kinectimals is a game that features an animal of your choosing. You can either choose a lion, a panther, a leopard, or a tiger to play with. With your furry little sidekicks, you set out to explore the island.
The map is good enough to get us to the glade. It's close, and there's always a lot of fun to be had there.
You will unlock new areas to explore by simply playing games with your whelp and by teaching him new tricks. You can either throw a ball with him, pet him behind the ears, or even play hide and seek by simply hiding yourself in the room. The cute little whelp will then try to find you by staring out of the television. When he's unable to find you, he will even start looking lost. But when you show yourself again, he jumps around in happiness. Kinectimals is a game that can be played in small periods of time and thereby ideal for the younger gamers among us. The digital pet won't need to be fed like a Tamagotchi, so it's all about the fun. To add to the fun factor, you'll be able to talk to the animal.
That looks much better.
But do remember that the commands need to be in English. This feature and the colourful world and the lifelike movement and reactions of the animal truly add to the realism of having a pet. Kinectimals is an Xbox 360 exclusive game and needs Kinect to be played. So be sure to have the complete package.
We're getting really close. Slobbery but cute.
And that's it for this episode of Game Facts. See you next time.